Hi, I'm Sally Glass and welcome to Art This Week. On this week's episode, we continue our coverage of the Moderns exhibition, Mexico Inside Out, Themes in Art Since 1990. Today we speak with the artist Miguel Monroy about his work in the exhibition. Now for Art This Week.
Hi, I'm here with Miguel Monroy to talk about his work in the new show Mexico Inside Out. And thank you for being with us today,
Thank
Miguel. So the piece we're standing in front of is called Equivalent. Start off by explaining sort of what you've done here.
What I do with this piece is that I got like 1,000 pesos and changed them to US dollars. And then what I got, I changed back to Mexican pesos, and back to dollars, and back to pesos, one another until the money ran out.
Until the money was gone.
Yeah.
And so with your initial investment, was that out of your own money that you did the initial investment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you were selecting where to do your exchanges and whatnot, were you going to the same place every time? Were you going to different ones?
There are not so many places now in Mexico to make the exchange. Mostly they are on the airport.
Oh, okay.
But in the airport there are a lot. So I went to almost all the exchange houses in the airport.
Oh, okay.
And then I have to visit them again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your purpose with this piece? What were you trying to show?
Well, in my work, I try to dare things or to challenge things to know if they work as they are supposed to, by repetition or by some kind of procedures. In this case, in theory, money is to be exchanged for something equivalent in value. Right. So when I try to prove that, when I try to see if that's happening, and I change the money one and another, you realize that it's not true eventually because you get out of money. So that's one of the ideas behind this piece.
So when you were working on this, did it initially sort of start off as a performance piece?
Yeah. I think there's a part in my work that there are really performatic works. But eventually I don't show the actual action.
Right.
I show the
documentation.
The documentation of the remains of the action.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I think there's a very performatic approach in some of my pieces.
How does this work compare to some of your other works?
Well, the repetition is like a constant issue in my work. I don't know. I don't know if I should explain some other works that can make an example, for instance.
Sure.
Well, there's a recent work I made really related with this, where I buy some frames, like 13 frames, and I pay them with a credit card. Before that, I got all the credit cards I could from bank institutions, so I got 6 credit cards.
Okay.
So when with the first credit card, I pay these frames, and when the payday arrives, I pay with the second credit card, and when the payday for that credit card arrives, I paid with the third credit card. So what I placed on the frames was the credit cards, the bank statements, and the receipt, the factor from the frames.
Yeah.
So the idea is to move the debt, the cost of the piece, through all the credit cards. And if I get the piece to be sold, it will be sold by the price of the debt at the moment.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of the same.
Right.
The same idea. It's more related with the idea of the debt and with the idea of art and debt and bank institution.
And besides art, you've also studied mathematics. Is that correct? Did you also
a little bit, yeah. I was 2 years trying to study, but it was really hard. So,
but it comes through in your work a bit because obviously you have that interest in the repetition and the numbers. And
for sure.
Okay.
I think I was always interested in how can I say, action and reaction, you know?
Okay. You've shown with a lot of the artists in this show before.
Yeah.
Can you talk with us for just a moment sort of about what your relationships are like with some of them?
Well, it's interesting because I think in this show there are a lot of generations. Some of them has been like my mentors. I have learned about contemporary art with some of them. So now I'm showing with them. You know, when I was a student, I see some of these pieces and I was amazed by them. Now I'm showing with them. So I'm really
Is there
honored.
anyone in particular who's in this show that influenced you when you were?
Well, for instance, the guys from Abraham Cruz Villegas, Joshua Cohn, those guys were my mentors. But at the same time, when I was in school, I saw Teresa Margoles or Gabriel Orozco's piece or Francis Alice. So I was shocked by their work, and yeah, now I'm so.
And now you're showing alongside them.
Yeah.
It has to be a really good feeling.
Yeah, I'm honored. Yeah, it's amazing.
We want to thank Miguel for speaking with us. For more information on him, go to miguelmonroy.net. For more information on the exhibition, go to themodern.org. That's it for Art This Week. Thanks for watching.
I still got your Polaroid.